Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Screwzilla here and I hope you're doing well. Let me just fix that. There we go. How's it going? And you join me today in the B-17 G60VE Flying Fortress. Yes, the Boeing 17 B-17 Flying Fortress. One of the most iconic bombers of the war. Just, what more can you say about the B-17? It is just a beautiful plane, especially the G in its unpainted glory. The aluminium and durabilium and steel and just beautiful vehicle. It is one of the most beautiful bombers in the game. And I say this as an Englishman who loves Lancasters, and it's very hard to admit it, but the B-17 is just a pretty bomber. It's a very pretty plane. It's ugly, but it's pretty, and it's just fantastic, really. You always feel kind of safe in a B-17. You don't feel like you're going to lose out. Now, we've got a bit of a formation going here. We've got a B-24, a B-17, and a second B-17 here. Now, the B-24 is powering ahead, and we're slowly catching up on Itchy here. But we're going to get a bit of a formation going, and that's what I kind of wanted to talk about today. But before I do that, let's talk a little bit about this plane. The B-17G is basically the B-17F, which is basically the B-17E, which, you know, it goes back. The B-17G is the last production variant of the B-17. The main difference between this and the F variant, however, is this chin turret. That's it, really. The F variant doesn't have the chin turret, and the G variant does have the chin turret. It's a powered turret, so it's an electric powered turret by Minneapolis Honeywell Electric. We're running out of words there. Try again. It's an electric turret. It has design modifications from Minneapolis Honeywell Electric turbo superchargers, regulators allowing manifold pressure or boost to be controlled by one single control knob. So the Minneapolis Honeywell Electric helped with the front turret, but they also did the new superchargers. Now, back in the day, the previous B-17s, you had all four engine knobs and things like that to control the supercharged pressure. It was quite hard. One of the things that wasn't so good about this plane, however, was it didn't have the ability to feather its props. And that's very problematic because although this new system was awesome, it did have a bit of a problem with braking quite a lot. And when that happened, the engine would cease straight away, and they couldn't feather the props, so it was causing more drag. Now, when you feather a prop, it's just going around on its own accord, and it's causing less drag. When it's just stuck there in one location, you get more drag. It slows the plane down, and it makes the plane harder to control as well, because you've basically got more stuff hitting it. Another big flaw for the B-17G was it didn't have the engine fire extinguishing system like all the other B-17s had, and that caused a fair bit of problems. Now, just got to mention in this replay, apparently the clouds don't spawn in the replay, so we should be in a cloud bank here. Anyway, let's just pause the game here for 1 second, because we've now got to the point where we can actually talk about what we're doing here. So as you can see here, we're in a bit of a loose formation, myself and Itchy Knuckle. So, where am I? Do. Why can't I see the name? There we go. So Itchy Knuckle here in the B-17E, which, as I said, is the one just before the F and basically the closest to the F. And as you can see, it doesn't have its chin turret there. Basically the same plane, although the E has a different belly gun. Basically, it's not a full ball belly gun. It's a electric turret, which is controlled by a guy that looks through that little bit of perspex there, and it's a bit harder to use, basically. So anyway, we have a TA-152 diving on us. Now, we've grouped up in a really good position here. We're very close to each other, but we're not too close. Now, you have to be careful when you're too close, because if you get too close, you're going to start taking each other out. Now, let's jump on board this TA, and let's see from his perspective. So, he's in a bit of a dive now, and he can see two B-17s here, and he's going, oh, that's going to be yummy. So, let's just slow it down a tad. So, this TA is coming in, and this is me starting to fire. And 50 cal is coming in. So 50 cal fire is coming in from both of us. Now we have a great arc of fire here. We've got both our bombers sort of parallel to each other. So he's going to get the most firepower. When he swings past me, he's going to get fire from my broadside and from Itchy, from his top guns and his rear guns as well. This guy has made a fatal mistake attacking us like this. This is the worst possible way to attack a formation. This is a stupid move. So as you can see here, he's opened up with his cannons. And here he goes, he's coming in. And the 50 cal fire is flying in. You can just see them whizzing past here. His cannons are missing most of the time, but he's going to get a few hits on Itchy. He's managed to get a nice hit. Now I've turned slightly, just to get my belly gun on target. Itchy's getting a few good shots. I've actually managed to get a few good hits in here. The 50 cals are going to do their job. Big salvo, and that's the TA on fire. And that's the end of that TA. That TA is done for. So, let's just jump on board Itchy here. And as you can see here, he's taken a lot of damage from those cannons. The left wing and the right tail plane has basically been buggered. But the B-17 will still fly, because B-17s don't care about how much damage you do to them, they just don't stop flying. So, as you can see, in that position, he was really up. He was really just coming in the wrong way. Now, if he was actually thinking smart, and we've got another TA coming in, sorry, it's just hard to keep talking. So, we've got another TA coming in. This one is coming in at a very high angle. So let's just see where he's coming in from. So he's almost upside down here. He's firing on me. And as you can see here, all his rounds are missing because he's coming in at this arc. He's got to try and kick his plane round and spin it round to hit me. And he's not going to do that in this sweep. So he's got to go down and he's got to come up at me again. Now Itchy is getting a bit far away now because he's got so much damage. It's a bit hard to control. But the 50 cals underneath my plane are absolutely starting to fire. And as you can see here, he's coming up at me. So we'll just jump back to the view. So he's coming up at me, and my ball gunner has got basically full visuals on this guy. So full visuals, and now he's getting into the area of my tail gun. Now, he's got to kick his plane around. He's got to kick the plane around now to get his guns on target. Meanwhile, I've got 450 cals on target now. And it's only a matter of time before I hit him. Now he's rolled over. He's firing. But again, he's just missing. He's got to get the plane up. And he can't do that. And there we go. That is the end of him. Now, Itchy's going down, but he's able to keep the plane in some sort of hold. This TA's just had its wing blown off by a dozen 50 caliber rounds. And I have taken pretty much no damage. I've taken a bit of a hit on the wing, and you can't really see the damage here, but it's just gone through the wing section and just damaged the main wing segment. 50 cals can stop firing, that TA has gone down, and that is 2 kills. Meanwhile, the B-24 that's got up ahead is doing his bomb run. Now, he's got a pretty decent sort of distance on everything, but he's pretty much out of formation, and that's going to prove a little bit problematic because, well, let's just switch to the normal camera. It's going to prove a little bit problematic because he's going to start getting, you know, swarmed by fighters any minute. We can see these fighters on ground level. So he's going to be really, really in a dangerous position. And I think he dropped all his 1,000-pounders. I think they were 1,000-pounders, those ones. They looked like them. So I think he only had 4,000-pounders. Now there's a Focke-Wulf 190 coming in on him now. And again, it's coming in from the rear arc. So if we look at this 190, it's coming in at this angle, which again is a really poor angle to come in, because basically all the guns can fire. The belly and rear turrets can start firing. Now, he's not using manual fire, obviously. He's waiting for his gunners to wake up. And that Focke-Wulf has got very close to him now, and it's going to be a bit of a mauling here, I can say. So, there we go. The cannons of this Focke-Wulf have done their job and really damaged the B-24 Liberator here. The B-24 is going down in flames, but his gunners opened up and have set that fire, that's Focke-Wulf 190 on fire. And that Focke-Wulf 190 has got engine damage, and it is gone down. So they've used up a fighter to take out one bomber. Sadly, we have lost our B-24. Now I'm trying to stall out and scrub some speed here to get back in formation with Itchy. However, it's going to be a bit hard really, because he's lost pretty much his engines have gone. So, as you can see here, the left engines have been severely damaged, but he's on target for his bomb run. Now, he's got 500-pounders on board. Or 250s, actually, I think. So, he's dropped all the 250s, and they will hit the base. So, all his bombs are out, and he's going to get to return home. Hopefully. So, he's breaking formation, and going back home. Meanwhile, I've opened the bomb bay up, and I'm getting ready for my bomb drop. Now, I have 8 1000s, so that's enough to take out 2 bases. So we drop our 4 bombs, and now we're going to turn for their base. So we're going to turn for their airfield. Now, one of the other problems with the B-17G was actually the plexiglass nose. There we go, beautiful. Bombers do like to look at their bombs drop, apparently. So one of the problems was this plexiglass nose. What was happening is when these machine guns were firing at their highest arc, so having to fire sort of upwards, they were actually shattering the plexiglass nose and leaving the plane with a massive gap in the front of it. And this happened quite often. In fact, to the point that they had to modify the guns. They managed to put a sleeve on the guns and a slight extension on them, so they no longer caused the problems to the plexiglass. It was an urgent modification. Now, as I said, with the B-17G, it missed a lot of vital things, such as prop feathering, fire extinguishers. It had a lot more lighter electronic parts to it rather than pneumatic parts. And it did cause a few problems for the plane. The B-17G was not as well loved as some of the other bombers, especially with the Bomber Command. In total, the 8th Air Force received 6,500 B-17Gs in March of 1945, it could send 2,370 of them into combat operations. At the end of the war, a total of 1,301 B-17Gs had been shot down or reported missing in action. That's a big number. It's what trying to work out percentage now in my brain. It's a high percentage. You know, it's a lot of bombers, and it's mainly due to the daylight raids. Now, the main losses were taken in 43 and 44, early 44. Interestingly enough, come late 44 and 45, the B-17s were no longer really having to worry about enemy fighters. With long-range fighter escorts now a thing, they didn't really need as much guns. Later B-17G variants had their waist gunners removed, their belly gunner removed. Also, the map gunners, sorry, the map users' guns removed as well. Now, right here we can see perfectly what's happening. Unfortunately, this was all covered in cloud in my game. I don't know why it's not come up in the replay. Anyway, an important thing has happened. We have lost pretty much everybody in our team. We just have a P-47 left. And me. So, bombs out. Down they go. And we're returning home now. So, it's time to get home and try and do a landing. Now, when the B-17 had its map gunners removed, which are the guns that protrude from the front there, those two bits there, those two guns there, and also the belly gunner, so they removed the ball gunner, and also the waist guns here. I believe they even removed the top gun here. It meant they didn't need as many crew members, so basically you lost 3 crew members from the plane. 4 crew members, sorry, I forgot about the belly gunner. So you effectively had 4 less crew members, which, you know, if you imagine a human being, most of us weigh around about 100 kilograms. So that's 400 kilograms of weight lost. Now, you've also got to think about the equipment. So it's an extra, say, 100 kilograms. The ammunition, the equipment, and stuff like that. I'm trying some desperate shots here down on the HEs. Probably not going to do anything right there. Just a few desperate shots, just to see what happens. But with that weight reduction, and also the streamlining that happened with the removal of those guns, the B-17s gained around about 25 miles per hour, which meant they could perform more operations, and they needed less fuel, things like that. The main things they changed were, in fact, I'll get a couple of hits actually on this BF-109. Nothing major, but a couple of small sparks and hits down there, which is always welcome. But our main problem is this one coming in now. Now, this guy's got the right idea. This is the correct way to attack a B-17. Well, almost. He's coming up, and that's a problem. Now, because he hasn't got the altitude advantage, he's coming up at us at this angle. Now, he's opened fire, and he's going to get a few hits here. So, you can see here, he's coming up at us. And that means that we have 5 guns able to target him, as you can see. So, we're able to open up with a lot of guns here and cause quite a bit of damage. Now, he's, of course, going to be able to get to us with his cannons, but where he's firing right now is right on our wingtip. So, it's only going to cause damage to maybe the tip of the wing. It may blow it off, but chances are we'll be okay. And as you can see, we've lost one of our flaps there. Now he's behind us. So again, we'll open up again on him. We'll get hopefully a couple of hits in. We've actually critted him. So this guy is critted. And as you can see there, his plane is looking a bit like Swiss cheese. So the fuselage has been damaged, I think, is what we got for the critical. But this guy is really in trouble now. Now, of course, he's damaged our engines, but he's not really caused fatal damage to us, whereas we've pretty much caused fatal damage to him. Okay, so, as you can see there, he's lost the use of his left wing, basically. Now he has a P-47 diving on him. And this guy has really not had a good day. That P-47's aiming up. And those 50 cals, oh, flying just past him, but he's going down rather quickly. He's trying his best to avoid. But it really is only a matter of time now for those 50 cals to actually hit. And there we go. He is down. And that is the end of that plane. So that's our second assist. So we'll hop back. That's the second assist we got in this game. Now we're pretty much useless now. So we'll actually watch. We're pretty much useless now. Our game's ended. But you can see the tickets are coming down. Now the P-47 is chasing down an HE-177 and doing a good job, and we're turning in with... I was thinking maybe I'll try and help him out, but he manages to dispatch that bomber pretty quickly, and in all honesty, I'm a bit too damaged to really offer much help. Best bet for me is to go for a landing and try and come back and do some bombing, because we are so low on tickets. However, a stroke of luck happens, and we start capturing A. So you can see all those tanks there on the ground. So, all in all, the B-17G is an absolute monster. The flying porcupine, as the Germans used to call it, and it deserves that name, because it really is. It's so prickly. Now, the best way to attack a B-17 is not to come up at it like this, it's to come down at it. Now, in this position here, you're going to negate this gun, so you're only going to have maximum of 3 guns on you, realistically, because this gun is operated by one person, so he needs to switch positions, so he can only operate the one gun at a time. So you're going to get 3 guns hitting you. Now also, if you swoop down at this position and aim for the cockpit, the chances are you're going to take out most of the crew. As you can see, the majority of the crew are centered in this area and this area here. This is the bit where you want to hit though, because that will take out the pilot. Now, we'll just switch to the free camera quickly, as I said, to just show that positioning. So, realistically, you want to dive front on. So if you dived at this position and aimed for the cockpit, that's where you're going to cause most damage. The other thing as well is if you aim for this area, you're going to hit the engines. There's a chance you're going to hit engines and wings. You're probably going to take out at least 1 or 2 gunners, maybe one of the pilots as well. So you're really going to cause a lot of damage. Now, when you're diving, you can then dive straight past, and that's going to mean that the guns are going to have to swivel round and actually aim at you, and that takes time. So when you swoop down, you can then pull straight back up, and then regain your altitude and go around for another attack on the B-17. However, when you attack it from behind, if you can find it, that is, there it is, you've got a lot of guns on you. So if you're coming in at this angle here, you've got to basically go through the whole wing section to hit the crew, but you've also got the tail gun possibly on you, you've got the belly gun on you, and you've got this waist gunner as well. And as you can see, that's a lot of guns being able to be pointed at you. It's 550 caliber guns. Again, from the top, oh, if we can actually get there, I might just switch to that camera. From the top, if you come in from this angle, you've got the top gun to worry about. You've also got this gun here, and this is specifically what this gun was designed for. In the later B-17 variants, this gun was put here because that was a big weak point, and that's where most Germans would attack from. They would dive in this direction. So when you're diving in this direction, you've got this gun pointing directly at you with a dedicated gunner, and you've got the top gun here as well. When you swoop past, you're going to go front of the plane, which means you've got the front guns on you already. They're pretty much pointing forwards most of the time, and they can swing around and get their guns on you pretty quickly. So the best way to attack a B-17 is from the front, not from behind or sort of sides or anything like that. You just want to make a big dive on it. Never come up against one, never fly up like this, because you're just going to get absolutely wrecked. Now, chances are you might get the kill, but you're going to die with it. And that's not useful, because if you end up dying, you've lost a plane on your team. You want to basically try and keep planes for planes. Now with bombers, it's not too bad if you sort of trade a bomber for a fighter plane. Because if you take out one fighter for the bomber, that means you've technically not changed the battle in any way, but there is one less fighter where a bomber slot was, so it equals out the balance. But if you in a bomber manage to take out more than one fighter and keep flying, as well as taking out the bases and taking out strategic targets, it's going to lower the tickets, which is going to win you the game. And that's something people have to remember, is to win a match, it's not just about killing the whole enemy team. Sometimes you will have ticket counters going down. Now, if we hadn't taken out all the bases here, we wouldn't have had as many tickets left, but we would also not have taken away as many tickets from the enemy team. Every base takes around sort of 10% of the tickets, say. So they would have 30% of the tickets now, and there's only 2 planes left. Chances are they're going to win this match. With the bombers taking out those bases, taking down those tickets, the attackers doing their job as well this match, taking out strategic targets, us capturing A, it meant we won the game. And I ended up making a nice 80,000 lion sort of bonus from this game. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. If you want more of these sort of like informational videos, I suppose, a little bit more in-depth about how to fly and how to attack planes, especially bombers. Look, let's be absolutely rational and straight here. I am a crap fighter pilot, but a bomber pilot I'm okay, and I know my bomber's okay. So, you know, bomber information, I can do that. And absolutely I can give you tips on how to kill them. Not that I want to, but, you know, it will get people watching the video, I guess. Alright guys, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day, and I will see you all again next time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.